Are you live?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not streaming. It's not cried yet.
Now, good afternoon, everyone. Sirs and ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir.
It's such a great honor to be here again for our weekly training. And today we'll be looking at how to raise committed team through servant leadership. How to raise committed team through servant leadership. Now, until we have gotten to a point where we adopt the servant leadership model, we are still joking. Do as I do in this context of model is what will guarantee and bring out the best from any dummy. You don't sit somewhere and scatter people around without taking the lead for them to know how it is done. Now, I'd like to say this. A number of times, people interchange the use of the word mentor for coach or coaches. A lot of times, I see a lot of young people, by privilege, when they walk up to me and say, I'd like you to be my mentor. So the question will be, what exactly do you want? And many of us make that mistake. Oh, I want you to be my mentor. A number of times, these words are abused because many people who use those words have not dig deeper to know what differentiates a mentor from a coach. Now, this is it. We have never seen where we have a football team that would say the person putting them through is a mentor to them. What do they call them?
Coach.
Coach. Now, a coach is someone who tells you how to better deploy the talents you've got into a skill. I repeat again. A coach is an individual that better instructs you or guide you on how to use your talents in the right way for profitability. All right, so for example, who is one of the hottest Nigerian footballers we speak right now? Ndidi. Thank you, sir. Now, and Ndidi is naturally talented, you know, and he needs to know where exactly you'll be needed to play well on the field of play, because you can't play every angle. Am I right? There is a place where you best fit, and it takes a coach to help you discover that place where your best use will be. So, ordinarily, Ndidi can jump on the field of play and he wants to play either 2 or 9 or whatever. Now, but a coach can identify and say, this is your area of strength, and I want you to go this route, and he gets the best out of it. Now, that's a coach. They teach you how to do it. They hold you by the hand. Now, a mentor could be described as someone who is looked up to, that can take you through what he or she is enjoying today without you having any close tie with physically. Now, I take it again. Now, a mentor is someone that you don't need to be physically close to learn from. It could be closer or from a distance, but you don't need any close tie with physically. But the closeness of the tie could be connected in the realm of the spirit, whether in the secular or in the spiritual. That means that from where you are seated here, you can pick a book written by Grant Cardone and be connected with him via his books, not necessarily meeting him before getting the kind of results he has gotten in the area of real estate. So, what I'm here to let you know is that you can raise committed thing through servant leadership. That is a coaching style, not the mentorship style. Unfortunately, we have a lot of people who would love to have many mentors without having more coaches. And the truth is this: by the grace of God, what I enjoy today in the realm of the world of real estate is as a result of having seasoned coaches who will hold me by the hands and say, let us go. Okay, so one thing we must also have at the back of our mind as we go through this is, how do I raise committed team? Not necessarily in-house, but they could be those that you raise as agents. So a part of this will tell you that you need to raise agents, that there is work to do to make them committed to you. So these are some of the things we'll be looking at today. I've often shared with us how God turned my life around via raising people who started selling for me as agents. They were never a staff of the company for a start. But along the line, I had to register a company and shortlisted them, interviewed them, and they came to about 13 of them who started working directly with me, even though I was still under my boss's employment at that time. So I tell people, if you say you can, you can. And if you say you cannot, you cannot. That's a quote attributable to Barack Obama. If you say you can do it, you can do it. And if you say you cannot, it will never be possible for you. But I'd like you to know that for you to go far in the world of real estate, you need to raise people, but through a servant leadership approach. Let's move. Now, what kind of leader are you? We can see how they are pulling the mission. You see, this as the leader with the followers, and this is the boss man. Which would you prefer, A or B? However, it's good to say it, but it will show your approach. One of the things that this man enjoys here in this B model is that even though we all are still working towards perfection, this man does not easily lose people, because there is a bond they share. Although I must say this, a number of times people tend to abuse relationships when you try to build relationships with the business a number of times. But I have tried this model before, and I've tried this model before, but this is more sustainable and more sustainable than this. However, I've seen that most of the people that you hear their names globally who are making waves in the business world, more often than not, this is the model that I want from them. The A type of model. They instruct. They don't mind whatever happens to you. Get me the results. Why? Because a number of people are not yet matured to handle relationships plus business. All right. So, do you simply tell people what to do and how to do it? Does it feel more like herding cats, trying to get them all to move in the same direction? Is it mediating disputes and shooting off feelings? Now, true leadership is actually much more challenging and rewarding than that. In the philosophy of servant leadership, the job of a leader is to develop each individual to their greatest level of competence and commitment. All right, now, I said, in this context, I'd like you to see yourself as a coach and not as a mentor. You need to work on yourself to the point where you can hold others by the hands and tell them, this is the way to do it. All right. Let me chip this in. Like a number of times Do not wait until the company trains you before you get trained. It is training that makes you to reign in life. You need to adopt the model of training yourself. Let me let you know that there was a time that for over a year, I researched on real estates and things surrounding real estates for not less than 3 hours in a day. I don't need to wait for anybody to come and train me, because I have seen that this is where my passion lies. This is what God has called me into. So for me to be an authority in it someday, there is a place of getting myself trained for it. So this model will last you a lifetime. Model B. You don't tell people to go and sell when you have not sold 1 square meter. You don't know what I'm saying? Yes. It's easier to talk. Talk is cheap. But it is better when you are talking from the depths of the knowledge you've got and the results you've acquired. Because it is only results that you use to checkmate results. You don't get it. You don't tell people to go and sell what you have not sold. You don't push people out there to go and achieve results if you don't know what result means. So, you want to command respect. You must earn it by working it out yourself. I'd like you to know, I remember at the time when my father in the faith, Bishop David Oyedepo, said something. He said, the CNN asked him at the time, they said, sir, what keeps you awake that makes you work close to 16 hours in a day out of 24 hours? He said, what keeps me awake is responsibility. Because when people are responsible to you, you don't want to fail. You know the reason why I go sell? Because I was paid salaries at the end of the month. At the time, I knew what we're, because we are alive now, we have nothing to declare it. But at the time, I knew what we're paid. I'm not declaring because of LRS. Amen. 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 Because some of them are watching, they are watching the video everywhere because they will go and get it. Hey, they get me. Amen. So, what am I saying? Responsibility will keep you awake. When you think, see, I'd like us to know, maybe this will help us a great deal. Today, thank God for good parents who will buy ground loaf bread and give you to eat. But a time will come that they expect more from you. They are feeding you today, but there is an extent to which the feeding will continue. You must make them happy. So, don't strive to make anything happen because of the organization. Strive to make something happen because of yourself, because of your dreams, because of where you intend to go. Even in the organization, you must look at it from the angle of the fact that if I make these results happen, is it not for the advancement of the company and for my personal growth? I remember at the time I told my personal assistant and I said, you know, what does it feel like if you are the one getting all so servant leadership. Servant leadership puts people at the forefront and it chooses not to focus on short-term success. Instead, setting the stage for the long-term growth and development of people within the organization, which in turn leads to better long-term outcomes for companies and their employees. All right. Now, this is a statement traceable to Larry Spears, the author practicing servant leadership. He said, servant leaders believe that people have an intrinsic value beyond their tangible contributions as workers. As a result, a servant leader is deeply committed to the growth of each and every individual within the institution. And the servant leader recognizes the tremendous responsibility to do everything possible to nurture the growth of the employees. Now, do not forget, the goal of this class is you need to raise people that will make this assignment easy for you. That's the truth. I've told you before now, and I'll repeat it again, that God told me, if you will not raise people, you will soon be raised. You can never get to the topmost top if you don't raise people. Now, I saw very humorous video, a very humorous video at the time when I saw somebody talking about an individual who was comparing himself to one of the political juggernauts in Nigeria, and was saying that you are saying that you and so person, you are the same caliber. They said, who have you raised to become governor ever in your life? Is it not only you? He said the other person you are comparing yourself to has raised about 4 governors. And he's not even thinking of becoming president. Who have you raised? God raised you. Because, see, this is what I'm saying. Before I came here, I practicalized it at home. I was teaching my children why God blesses you. He blesses you because He wants you to be a blessing. We had this conversation for over an hour, these small children. Because it is what I put in that I get tomorrow. I told my first child, I said, I'm sure you take care of your parents when you start making money. She said, yes. I'm sure you want to buy cars for them. She said, yes. I'm sure you want to build houses for them. She said, yes. I said, so start now. It will be like, how do I start? I said, even from that little biscuits you have, say, Daddy, share with me. They said, the weekend that will be sweet, it starts from Friday. If God has lifted you up in that your street, on that street, or your neighborhood, and you got this job, how many people have you extended the same opportunity to say, come and sell for me? So before we leave here to Mr. Richard, take note. We are looking at the number of agents raised so far by each person. Raised so far. And we'll now look at how many you will still raise. So begin to cook before we start the conversation. But the truth is this: if you will not raise people, they will soon forget you. You don't need to have gone before they will forget you. While you are still alive. Now, let's look at this particular characteristic of a servant leader. We look at a servant leader practice active listening. They listen to people. 2, they engage with questions. 3, they respect their competence. 4, they approach as an equal. 5, they consider personal biases. And 6, they create a positive environment. Now, let me say this. I took this wisdom from one of my leaders and pastors. One of my leaders and pastor. He said something someday. He said the reason why I talk less is because most of the people I move with learn to listen more than to talk more. Now, I saw in the God opened my eyes. You must practice active listening. Listen more, talk less. Do you know that anytime you are prospecting when you're on the field, most of the answers to the question your prospect want to ask is in what they are saying. But most times you allow them to talk. Okay, so let me feel what I'm saying. You can take it on from there. Say, hey, okay, at that place, no place like that. In the okay, so have you finished? Yeah, sign the check yourself. Practice active listening. Engage with questions. You know, this dovetailed into customized into what we do. Practice with questions. Be a great leader. For a partner in the company when I was still with my boss, by the virtue of the way I engage them, I'm more interested in how to secure the company's assets than whatever I want to see. By the way, there was nothing to see anyway, because I was working on salary. And the only way I knew I could make the extra was to sell and earn income as commission. So engage with questions, ask people questions. I told someone, I said, okay, now you have houses for sale now. When you are prospecting, you know you need to begin to ask most of your prospect questions about the sizes of their families. Okay, you are telling someone to come and buy a 2-bedroom bungalow when he's got 7 children. Where will he keep them? It means that plus buying your 2-bedroom bungalow, it means that he has to still probably rent another house to keep the remaining children. So you need to engage with questions. So we are selling 2-bedroom terraced houses now, sir. Sometimes I tend to be fascinated on the field when I hear something like someone has a very big family. I hope your family is so big and large. The man smiles and say, okay, you are selling 2-bedroom terrace. Okay, actually my family actually is a bit bigger than that, if that's what you want to know. I mean, God has blessed us with 5 children, my wife and I, making 7. So in that context, so the next question will be, would you like a room each for each of them? How many male? How many female? Why are you asking that question? Because the female will eventually leave the house and go and marry. So if they are all men, it means that they are the owner of the house. So you can't but advise 5-bedroom because of the number of the male children in the house. So see, you have taken your sales from an ordinary agent on the streets to a professional person. I help people to plan their family with what I'm selling to them. By the time I go out and come in, I'm going to go and tell the company, I've seen somebody who wants 4-bedroom duplex. So we'll work it out and I revert to him on the price because that's the best for him. And we adopt the same kind of model for the installment payment plan. If the money is more, then we look at how we can locate the length of payments. So engage with questions. See, when the top leadership leaders, most times people come and say, hey, number you they are talking to. But the truth is this: you are the leader that the whole world is waiting for. So somebody will ask the question. So if all of us are leaders, who will be the follower? Let the follower answer. That's the truth. We all can lead well. Respect their competence. Someone is talking to you and they say that I'm an engineer and this is the dimension that no problem, it's fine. Respect their competence. Approach as an equal. Don't please stop. Don't intimidate anybody with language that I'm your guy here. No. I mean, I've learned a little. Now then, but do you know something? It was the first 3 months that I sowed those seeds. They picked up. By the 4th month, I was already making not less than 500,000 on my own share of commission through them. But the company pays us 10%. We share it into 2. Because I mean, I brought you to sell for me. And I brought you for close coaching. So you can learn how it is done. When they picked up, I enjoyed it more than them. You know what happened eventually? At the end of the year, the company did an appraisal and they looked at best salespeople in the year and they said, you know what? It is me. All the things they were selling, it was making my cabal to rise. Because when they submit their sales, they are still putting it under my name. So at the end of the year, we're looking for the best salespeople in the organization. It's Adeyemi, not my agents. We can have a special program to appreciate all agents and call out the best sold among all of them. But when they talk about the staff of the organization, all that they have sold for me came under my cabal. So the company had no choice than to say, oh yeah, come and we're going to Dubai. with $5,000. Amen. And I think I've asked you this question before that, okay, if they give you when they were giving us $5,000, they said, you must finish spending the money before you come back home. If you spend 1,000 and give 4, if you can't bring out the receipts for the remaining 4,000, the company reserves the right to take back the 4,000 from you. So you must spend till the last. So what will you buy? Let me ask the question. What will you buy? In Dubai. You buy that in Dubai. What will you buy?
No, I will invest.
In Dubai.
Even if it is not land, I will invest in
what?
Service capacity.
No, see, let me now break it down more for you. That you must buy the things that will affect your look.
Yeah.
Because when you come back, they must know that you are a branded golden.
Change status.
You have changed level. Your jacket must blink. Your wristwatch must change. Your shoes must not cut Bobby. You know Bobby? You know the same Bobby? You know when Bobby Brown hairstyle is like this. So it's like punk. They now cut it to one side. So when they say your shoe cut Bobby, it means that it gives you bow leg. So your shoe must not cut Bobby. Your ear, as a woman, your ear do must be refined. Maybe your wig has tangled before. By the time you come back from Dubai, you must have better wigs. So, in that context, what will you buy? Yes, so what will you buy with $5,000?
I think I'll go for shopping.
Yes, shopping. What will you?
Then I'll get clothing,
Okay.
change my hair.
Yeah.
When I mean hair, it's like real hair.
Yes.
And then I'll go for my cosmetics. And then I could get things to wear on my leg. Shoes.
Shoes. Footwear.
Which is
Yeah.
accessories.
Mr. Dublin, how you spend $5,000?
$5,000.
No.
Okay.
And it's not show your body.
It's not sure.
Yes.
I'm going to change some of my roles. It's a given. I will also invest in self-training.
Thank you, Chief. I like that. I like that. Self-development. There's nothing you say that is wrong, actually. Sincerely. Actually, what the company did, they gave us a week. A week. Within that 1 week, out of the 4 days, not even up to 5 days, about 5 days, let's say 5 days. Okay? 3 out of those 5 days were meant for trainings. Dale Carnegie came to train us. That's his friend. So we had just 2 days to finish $5,000. You shop online. I remember one of my colleagues there who shopped till her leg got hooked. She could not walk again. No. I mean, she had to walk the mall, the entire mall in Dubai, you know.
Looking forward to get.
I mean, it's a good feeling. Now, it was sweet to spend the money, but it was combined efforts of people that enriched us. I entered hot store. That's wristwatch. I love wristwatches. Amen.
Amen.
I love wristwatches. I bought lovely wristwatches. As in lovely wristwatches. Casio, quartz, you know. Oh my God.
D&G.
Police.
I bought good wristwatches, bought jackets, bought after I've paid my title. That's the first thing. Amen.
Amen.
And I began to, and you know something? I bought at least one thing for each of those agents.
Yes.
Because we won together. You know, I had a story of an elephant and a rat. See elephants, see the rats. The elephant wanted to cross a bridge, and the rat decided to climb on the back of the elephant to cross the bridge to the other side. Now it was a rope bridge. The elephant, it was shaky anyway. They ended up getting to the other side. And when they got to the other side, you know what the rat said? He whispered to the ear of the elephant, he said, we should be bridge together. The bridge was shaky truly. But what's the weight of the rat on the bridge? So you use mechanical advantage when you allow agents to sell for you. You ride on their strength. You can't enter everywhere, but they can be everywhere. You don't get it. You can't enter everywhere, but they can be what? They can be everywhere. You can have agents in Alausa, Ministry of Lands, selling for you. You can have agents in Ministry of Environment selling for you. You can have agents in Wealth Creation selling for you. You can have agents in NFPC selling for you. You can have agents in Eton selling for you. Everybody is doing the same thing. When they make the sale, they bring it back to you, and it affects your capital positively. So, consider personal biases if they have a need for you to come in and assist them. It's important. All right. I've told us this illustration before now, where, about 10 oranges were given, and out of the 10 oranges, there were 11 people to share 10 oranges. Mr. Dami, are you here? Mr. Flynn. We had 10 oranges, and we had 11 people to share them. Now, I told us how to share these oranges to make sure that the 11th person will still benefit from it. And what do you do? Can you remember? Can you remember? You first give them one, and you now appeal to their emotion to take half from each of them. And at the end of the day, you end up drinking how many? No. You're taking half from 10 people. Half in 10 places. You have 5. Thank you, sir. You have 5. You succeed in taking 5. Meanwhile, you have earned their trust by first giving each one of them one before taking half from them. So I did say the other time, all of us must, not in small letter, in capital letter, we must place agents. Because there are a number of people out there who need help. And until you help them, they are going nowhere. That's the truth. Our heart must go out for them. God has given you this job because He wants you to raise somebody else. Moving forward. Listening. It's important for leaders to create a safe environment for employees to speak up. With a company culture that fosters listening, being open, and giving recognition for speaking up, more employees will do so because they are encouraged to converse and collaborate without fearing failure. Speak up. Speak up. It is very important. You serve people better when you make a deep commitment to listening intently to them and understanding what they are saying. Open lines of communication to discover personal problems. Now, I gave an example here. I had a guy that we talk a lot, and he was working with me directly. You know something? It got to the time I told me, he said, sir, I have a deal for you. and I want you to close it in. You know where it took me to? It was one of my agents. Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
It was one of my agents. He took me somewhere. When I met the man that he took me to, the man said, "What can you do with 100 million?" So did you get what I said? What did he say?
What can you do with 100 million?
You don't know what you are doing when you help others. Listen to them. Empathy. Servant leaders strive to understand other people's intentions and perspective. You can be more empathetic by putting aside your viewpoint temporarily, valuing others' perspective, and approaching situations with an open mind. Empathy. Now, I will never forget this particular example. Empathy. Strive to understand other people's intentions and perspectives. Be empathetic. Be empathetic. And approach issues with an open mind. I remember many years ago when I was still with my brother, and one of us was getting married in the organization. So we decided to go for the wedding. So however, the lady had actually requested the management to give her 2 of the other colleagues so they can go with her ahead of the wedding day. So the company released about 2 people to go with her. So they were with her together. So I was the head of marketing in the organization then. So we decided to go on Friday because the wedding was scheduled for Saturday. So we left on Friday. So we couldn't get to the place on Friday. We got there on Saturday morning. When we got there, we saw 2 of our colleagues who had gone ahead with her since Wednesday. And when we saw our colleagues, we saw that they are grown lean. As it is like Golden getting married now. And we now say that the company now release Mrs. Evelyn, thank you. Mrs. Evelyn to go ahead, plus Mrs. Vivian, the 2 of them should go. Since Wednesday, maybe they got there on Thursday to assist her. So when we now got there on Saturday, we now saw that Mrs. Evelyn and Mrs. Vivian had grown. What's happened? Did you come to the mountain? Goldie, what did you do for these people? So we went to meet Mrs. Evelyn and Mrs. What's happened? And said, God did not give us food since the day we came here. So we decided to just spend, before we stay too long, that to talk to the food has finished. So we decided to just give the gift and to leave. So Mrs. Evelyn and Mrs. Vivian said, okay, you are not going anywhere. We are going with you. We are not going to stay. They said, no, wait now. You'll be coming tomorrow, Sunday. They said, wait, where? Meanwhile, we were already 5 that came with the car from Lagos. 2 in front. The person who drove me, one of my colleagues drove me, myself in front. Then 3 other people at the back. The 2 of them said they would like to join us. There's no space again in the car. It was this Corolla, your type of Corolla, holding. Yeah. How we have 5 people at the back. Bro said will catch us now, and we're talking about Kogi State. So one of them said, let's see me said, Oga, anyhow, if you don't allow me to go, whatever you hear has happened to me has happened to me. Is it that bad? It's better than that.
For something like that.
So it's something that's why I use it as an example anyway. And sincerely, yours truly, when they started crying, I said, okay. Don't forget, we're talking about empathy. As a leader, you must be empathetic. You have to put them in the car when they insisted. And they say, sir, one of them even said, it is today that I will know whether you're a true leader. See that kind of blackmail. I said, you don't need to tell me that one before I help you. When you enter the car, whatever happens, we'll all behind it. Fast forward. We changed 2 tires. I bought 2 tires before we got to Lagos. The tire busted. But you know something? About 2 years ago, I think it was my birthday, and one of them, all of us are scattered all over the world now, by the grace of God. One of them, during my birthday, he wrote a long episode of this incident that happened close to about 7 years or 8 years now, and said, sir, these are, I read that long comments and I was moved to tears. That see, it is not just about getting people to do something for you. You must make sure that you coach them to do it the way you will do it. I will never forget that experience. So be empathetic. When they say that they are sick, listen with them. I've made some mistakes in the past, but I'm teaching you now that going forward, be more empathetic. It will help any leader to succeed a great leader. I hope we're together. Yes, sir. All right, self-awareness. Now, this kind of leader is tuned into what's going on around them. They are situationally aware in terms of understanding issues involving ethics and values, and strategically aware of how individual actions affect the big picture. Now, when somebody gets to the office and is looking one kind, you should be able to know that something is wrong. Especially when you know that this person is a man of life. When I entered, I saw Oga Dominic, and I knew that this is not this man. Oga Ginger my swagger. I need you to give it to me. It's self-awareness. See, don't be an I don't care kind of leader. Please. It's not just about your sales that will make you succeed. You have to balance your life. Your relationship with people is very important. Because God that you believe in is living inside of you. But you still need people around you who are living outside of you. Am I making some sense?
Yes, you are.
It's very important. Be self-aware of people who are. See, let me tell you, I'll tell you of a situation. We're going to one of our sites, we're going to walk 52 acres one day, the boundary, to check the size of a particular land. And do you know that when we're going that boundary, one of my contractors that we're showing the boundary to, you know what happened to him? I just saw that, I just had it was long, and somebody, we have not gotten to that stage where you'll be rubbing me at the back. That maybe we'll laugh and he will just rub that on me. Like, I just saw that his hand was on my back. I just looked back. I grabbed him. He was going down. And we pulled him on the floor, started blowing grease on him. Anyway, immediately somebody went to get Fanta and some other snacks for him. He had his eyes came down. If you look up about now, if I was more aware, I should have noticed that from the time we started doing the trek of 52 acres. And I said, sir, why would you come on the marathon without eating? He said, sir, actually, he's on the fast. Wow. And he still went for a vigil last night. And woke up to come for 52 acres Check. The following day. Be self-aware of people around you. There are some people that the reason why they are not performing is far from the fact that they can't talk to people. There are some things eating them up. Be self-aware. It's only when today issue, tomorrow issue, today after tomorrow issue that you know that this one, you say. But occasionally, pay attention to this thing. Pay attention. I remember somebody one day who came to my office and I said, "Are you okay?" He said, "It's okay." "Are you okay?" He said, "It's okay." The third time I asked, he busted into tears. A lot of people are going through so much. Be self-aware. Encouragement. It is important to understand that people are more likely to perform better if they are led by someone that is nurturing and encouraging. It is important to understand that people are more likely to perform better if they are led by someone that is nurturing and encouraging. It is important to understand that people are more likely to perform better if they are led by someone that is nurturing and encouraging. However, like I said the other time, there are a lot of people who can never manage relationships. A lot of people abuse it when you nurture them.
Yes.
They spoil. Some people spoil. And you will see that it looks as if because they feel over pampered and it affects their performances. How will you be comfortable with the 30,000 salary, 50,000 at the end of the month? And you see that, do you need to be encouraged to go out and sell? Okay, is it not the same my job market that we do? Is it not the same ground square? Or is there a separate store where you go and buy your own thing? Different from where we go. These are things that should drive your performance. Thank God for your life. Oh. Many of you have not started having children. You don't know how much they pay for school fees. But the day you know how much they sell diaper, how much you go to go. Yes. Before you get to that point, run.
No.
Run. Some of you are here. They don't know how much they pay for hospital bill when the woman is pregnant and she wants to go for antenatal. You never sabi. If you sabi, nobody will encourage you to run. Run. A number of people are here. They've never paid house rent in their life before. They are still living with their parents. In fact, they are even fighting over loaves of bread in the house.
Yes.
Mrs. Kazan, when they say bye. A number of people are here. You don't have any idea what it means to even go to the market and go and shop for the house. And you don't know run! Mr. Dami, run! Just run. I know that says wait for me. What do you have? Don't leave me. Somebody is running. You are saying don't leave me. I've left you since. See, there are things that can make a man go wild, and one of it is if there is no money. And I've said something. I said, there's nothing that is as good for a woman to be also financially dependent.
Yes, so tell them.
Tell us.
See, the first time, I'm saying this on the national TV, the first time my wife knelt down for me with 2 legs after the wedding day was the day God helped me to give her a car gift as a birthday gift. To the glory of God.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
Amen.
Are you enjoying the service?
Yes, sir.
Sincerely, I didn't beg for her to kneel down. you will kneel down by the grace of God.
Amen.
Now, this is not, it's not that I told her to kneel down for me. No. It brought the regard, because this is a gift I never expected. Do you need to tell me to run to buy something better for her again? Because from that day, from that year, I became confused about which kind of gift to buy, because I have raised the bar. Okay, after car, what next?
Play.
Amen. Private jets. After private jets, you go
Private jet.
private. Now, what am I saying is this: it's important for you to run, if not for the organization. Let's even say that you are very, you are wicked. That you don't look at what the company is expending on salaries. Just run because of yourself. There are times that you are comfortable in one room. Face me, I slap you. But by the time you start making some kind of friends who cannot come and visit you in that place, you need to be thinking of a better house. You have to do what? Run. And the truth is this: where you live is a function of the type of opportunities that you will attract. You don't get it. Where you live is a function of the type of opportunities you will attract. So if you live in, apologies to let me not mention the particular place. So if you live in a place that is developing, a far place that is far from Lagos, it's not that God won't bless you, He still bless you. But people will just come and be meeting you. They can bring land papers and say, Mr. Dami, come and buy. We want to borrow money from you. Take these papers and use it as collateral, and you borrow them. Before you know it, you have become the dog of that area. You are coming like this in your under what's it, under end of discussion, and people are saying Baba. Meanwhile, you get your money, your end of discussion is like discussion continuous. It's like discussion.
No need for discussion.
Sincerely. Meanwhile, you think you are doing well in that place, and then somebody will still tell you are doing well. That's true. So where you live is a function of what will attract the type of opportunities that comes to you. Let's move forward. Openness to new ideas and selflessness. Be open. A servant leader values different opinions and don't punish people for disagreeing or sharing their opinion. I've been caught in this way before, but I've changed.
Praise God.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
Amen. Don't think they do not think we are doing very well. Don't punish people for sharing or bearing their mind. Embrace it.
Yes. You need to understand that.
A sound leader values different opinions and don't punish people for disagreeing or sharing their opinion. So when an agent working with you tells you that I don't like this particular estate you told me of, I need something better, you push it to the company and let the company know, sir or ma'am, can we get something in this type of no offense, sincerely. There will be no offense. When you see, the truth is this: when this woman was alive, Stella Obasanjo, I heard him saying something that there is somebody who can give him a knock in the bedroom, and that's the wife. As tough as every man is, there is always somebody who can correct them. See, words are seeds. Just keep saying it. It will germinate someday. You don't get what I'm saying? Words are seeds. Keep dropping it. It will germinate someday. You can say, this is what we feel based on what we saw in the field. This is what we feel based on what we are hearing from the field. Just keep saying it. One day, attention will be paid to it. Keep saying it. Keep saying it. We'll get there. Now, some leader puts others first because they realize it's not about their agenda and how they look, but instead about leading other people to succeed. If others succeed, then the whole company is successful. You see the example? Yeah, you can share. So you can see the example, employing my first 13 staff while at my last job. As an employee, employing 30 people. Look, that means no. It's a seven. That was the day I began to know what rest means in my life. All the 30 people who go out. I sit in the office and I put my 2 legs on the table. When people can see me, you say, Pastor, you're quoting when they started coming in. See, you don't know what you are missing until you start raising other people. You can't be everywhere now. Mm-hmm. It's only God that has the characteristics of being omnipresent. He's the only one that can be everywhere at the same time. The day you start trying to be everywhere at the same time, you are cooking your grave. So the best way to get to all of these places from one position is by raising others. Pay attention to raising others. Pay attention to raising others. Pay attention to raising others. Ways to create a committed team using servant leadership. Number 1, lead by example. Lead by example. Lead by example. I told you the other time, I said, don't tell me to go and sell what you have not sold. That's the truth. When I want people to perform, I take the lead. I remember the time we were selling a particular estate in Abuja, and that particular estate, we had, it was to sell for 70 million. Can you get it? It was to sell for 70 million, each of the units. And one of my team members was saying that, sir, this thing cannot work. 70 million. To sell house on paper that we have not built, 70 million. Who will drop that money? So I knew this was the only way to make it happen. So I rolled my sleeves and hit the ground running. Before you knew it, when I brought in my first check, the lady said, yes, sir, I think it's doable. That was how the whole estate was sold out in 3 weeks. 70 million each. To the glory of God. What am I saying? You can make it happen to yourself. Everyone has the potential of making it a reality. Lead by example. Stop telling people to do what you have not done. When the MD in this organization says that go and sell, does he have the right to tell you to go and sell or not? Yes. He does. Why? So he has sold and he's still selling. Yeah. So, as a team lead, when you are harassing them and you have not sold anything, when you leave, they say, well, he has also 1 square meter. He says, go and sell 500 square meter. But where? You should go and sell it, sir. Or go and sell it, man. See, I told you, it is only results that you use to checkmate insults.
That's it.
Cultivate trust. Cultivate trust. What makes an open communication work in a company being run by servant leaders is that there's a strong trust built between everyone. Trust means that a leader's action will be based on servant's principles and be the same every time. Cultivate trust. Cultivating trust. Cultivating trust. These are ways to create a committed team using servant leadership. Cultivating trust. Cultivating trust. give people an assignment and let them go and do it. That's the truth. But if you have failed me once or twice, when I give you an assignment, I give it to somebody else also. I have a backup. In case you disappoint me, I move, I switch, and I may not trust you. Until I've given to somebody else. I'm giving you and I'm assigning somebody else. Now, for instance, if you are giving a target as a team, yes, we share it among ourselves, what each person is supposed to do. As a leader, I have it at the back of my mind that this is your team. So if you have 100 million, I'm running to achieve the 100 million. Because I know that if I do the 100 million, and 15% of 100 million is how much? 15% of 100 million is how much? Okay. 50 million.
It's more than 15, no? 15%.
10%.
Yes.
Okay, it's now 10. Okay, because of the model, yes.
It's 10% direct commission.
Direct commission, 10%.
10%, yes.
So your line,
Down just 3%, 2%.
that's
But direct
another 2 lines.
yes.
Directly you take 10.
10%.
So even 10%, sir, of 100 million is how much?
10 million.
10 million. Okay, if you receive a lot of 10 million on your phone, Mr. Farooq, sir, what will you do, sir? You just receive it down. They hold you. It's for
You as in will be sick.
12, 10 million.
He has not received it before.
How far?
But let me tell you something. Honestly speaking, all these things are achievable. Sincerely. I mean, I don't say the things I don't do. Sincerely. By the grace of God, I have the testimony, and I still have the testimony till date by His grace. I told someone a few days ago, I said, by His grace. By His grace. Trump Investment Limited is about 6 years of age now. 75% of the entire sales of the organization, you can trace it to God through me. 75% by His grace. Out of those 75%, maybe I've collected 50% on it as commission. So these are achievable things. It's not just motivation. I'm not a motivational speaker. When you see somebody who go and hold the horn of cow, and they will just drive there. The only God knows what motivational speaker have told this person to go and hold the horn of cow. I am not a motivational speaker. I am telling you how you can raise a fortune and bring out your family out of the world. Thank God for many of you, you are driving cars, but you can drive better cars. I've seen machines.
Automobile.
Amen. There are vehicles that you don't trouble yourself when it comes to getting them moved from one point to another. They move. There are vehicles that when you are in, to close a deal is easier for you. Thank God for your life. You are living in your own house, but you have a rented house that you give out on rent. If the answer is yes, how many of it do you have? So you think you have made money, so you don't need any other money again. You think you have made a fortune, you don't need any other fortune again. It can be better. Tell yourself the truth and say, I will hit this target and exceed this target. By the way, Mr. Amanda, what's your target? How many months? Within 3 months. Within 3 months. Within 3 months. 150M. Praise God. Praise God. Oh yeah, Mr. David, what's your target? 10 million. In how many months? 2 months. 2 months, 10 million. Mr. David, what's your target? 375 million. In how many months? 2 months. So before I take it further, like what's the strategy you're deploying to get it achieved? Please, I'd like to get this. Mr. Rita, please take action.
Yes, sir.
The strategies. Let's go at this.
Yeah,
This is sales training.
Yes,
and
sir.
was demonstrates how we intend so that see, even God, when you have prayed to Him, the things you will do for yourself, He can never do for you. Things you will do for yourself, He will never do it for you. Mr. Brother, how do you intend to achieve your 150 million? What strategies are you deploying? Okay. As agents, are they registered with the company?
I wanted to do that yesterday. You said maybe the level something there is an income
Today is not over. I hope you are not procrastinating. Because I look at the time we started this training today, it will have closed it
I
down.
was even replying to people on
So how many agents do you intend to raise within this month? It's a new month.
like
10. Mr. Richard, please take notes.
Okay.
Mrs. Salato, what's your target? 10 million. 10 million. And what's the strategy?
Apart from regular calling,
Yes, I'm with you.
apart from regular calling, giving someone like doing the normal thing, I intended going to some offices which are sending my personal letter that I want to go and talk to them.
Okay.
I've gotten one first one. Okay, so I'm hoping before the end of this. I'll get response from all of them.
Okay.
Small people using my social media.
Using your social media handle. Okay. You want to do, that means you want to do physical, physical visits. That's your strategy. And again, you want to explore the option of the social media and raise more agents. How many agents do you intend to raise?
Okay, now I have 8.
8.
Yes.
Registered.
Yes.
Praise God.
And before the end of this month, because of what we are looking at, the amount we're supposed to make, it should get to 20 before the end of the month.
20 agents.
I'll definitely talk more to people and
Okay.
see how we can achieve.
All right. Now, do you have any strategy you deploying to ensure that these agents achieve their task that you are giving to them? Not yet. You've not thought of any.
No, but for now, I just send them materials and success stories, so they know it's actually real, because most of them think it's not real. So more success stories, and once in a while, I just call them to know what's happening. Not really sales. What are you guys doing? How do you guys intend to do this?
Are you partnering with anything? Is anything leaving you to encourage them? For those who want to go out but who don't have the means of going out? Not yet.
I don't think I have any.
Okay, in that category. Now, the truth is this: until you have such people in your category, you are not ready. Because the people that will help you use their blood to sell, they don't have money to go out. That's the truth. They are good, they are smart, intelligent, but they don't have cover in their pockets. You will need to raise such people. See, sales is for hungry people. They are not sets of people that get to a point and they go solo, or they go redundant, or they get satisfied with what they are. Great salesmen are people who are never tired of their present situation. They are never tired or never satisfied of where they are. Always eager for more. So you need to raise committed and hungry salesmen. People that when you give 2,000 naira to go out, they will be calling your name on the mountain. That's the truth. Imagine somebody like that who makes the first sales, sir, that you credit the account of the person with 50,000, his own share of the commission. The person that you gave 2,000 to start going out, and now collected a commission of 50K. Sir, what will happen?
You will not sleep. You will not sleep again.
You can ask me. I can tell you, I've worked with different categories of people. And I've seen over the years that the best among them are those who are actually hungry. They want to do that. Sir, there's a guy that when he started making up to 1 million naira as commission, you can't see him again. In terms of, he works with the wind. It's everywhere. Because he doesn't want that flow to stop. He knew where God took him from. We need such people. Don't raise people who are satisfied. Don't raise people who will be redundant because of little successes that they've achieved. Mr. Emmanuel, so how many agents? You said your target is 150 in the next 3 months. So you've raised how many agents now, sir? 2. Not yet registered. Okay. With verbally, you raised 2. Okay. So before the end of this month, you have to raise at least not less than 10 people. At least not less than 10 people. They must register. Not less than 10 people. So that means that you are saying that you will be able to get 50 million before the end of this month. Out of 150. If 150 is your 3 months view, it means that in a month, that's 50 million. Is it achievable? Is it achievable? Sir, if you tell me your target is 500 million this month, so shall it be. Sir. A great man said, "You will only eat what you can see."
Yeah.
If you can't see it, there's nothing to eat. It is only what you can see that you can eat. Okay. Mrs. Evelyn, what's your target? Forget. Don't break down. What's your target?
My target 50 million.
50 million for this month. 50 million. So what's the strategy you are deploying?
Use consultants.
Use
Consultants.
consultants. Okay. That's agents that you are raising. So how many do you have registered already? Mr. Riton?
10.
10. Registered already. Praise God. So have they started performing?
Yes.
They started bringing in money.
As well as
For last one, I didn't see a picture at the before the month is over. Today is already 9. Before Friday. I want to see it now.
So what I usually do, I engage them. We do meetings. Most of my agents are within my business circle that I know one-on-one. So serious-minded people. So we
I like that
actually
word. Serious-minded people.
Yeah. So we actually
So 50 M. How much did you last month?
9 million.
This is about how much did you last month?
5 million.
5 million. Wow. Please remind me of your name. Quillet. Aha. But how much did you last month? Just
Still coming up.
okay. So what's your target for this month?
5 million.
5 million. 5 million. That means 1 month. What's your strategy?
Basically, I would say consultant.
How many have you talked to?
Well, I have 3 registered.
Registered.
Yes.
Awesome. 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 Madam Gift, how long have you been around? How many months? 2 months. 2 months. You don't, they can't remember. The last time they asked you out, you can remember. When will they ask you out? Amen. So how much have you brought in? So how much is your target this month? 10 million. You sure? 10 M. Sorry, Jack. Let me boil it down. What's your strategy?
Maybe the social media and consultants also.
So have you started as a consultant?
Yes,
How many do you have now registered?
4, 5.
4, 5. Registered.
Yes.
That's 4. That's 4. You say 4 or 5. That's 4. The 5th person have not registered.
No, I'm not sure
Of the 4th one.
No, I'm not sure of the number. I know I've read that, but I'm not sure of the number. But it's not more than 5.
Have they started working?
No.
So in 2 months, how much have you brought?
No.
No. Let me see. It can be better. You need to put them on their toes to get this done. It can be better. Mr. David, how much did you give me the other time? How much did you give me the other time? 10 million. How much did you do last month? None. Last month, you were intoxicated last month. Yeah. Didn't work last month. The previous month, 2 months ago. No. And are you okay with that? How much? Okay. Okay. You need to come up, Mr. David. You need to come up, Mr. David. We'll be taking our follow-up on this figure seriously at the end of this month, by the grace of God. We'll be taking this seriously. So everybody has to sit up and get serious more than ever before, because we don't have any reason to hide under the lockdown again. Even the international airports are below. So it means that we have our heaven open already, because people are saying, is this excuse or the other? But now people are moving, and everybody's running to achieve what they have lost during the lockdown. And sincerely, money is flying around. If you are anointed in your eyeball, you will see how money is moving. People are buying properties. I tell you, people are buying properties. Let them just trust you. That's all. Let them just trust you. That's all. You'll pay.
I want to volunteer to involve in
In the conversation. I will still come to you. How much is your target this week?
I wrote that I want to sell upwards many of the years.
So that will be the figure. That's the figure.
My target is not about the money, it's just looking for make the sales, go there and if it's about giving them money, I've been doing that before. I even gave someone a time to call some needs. So it's not about giving them money. That's what I came downstairs. I was listening also, but I came downstairs to ask questions. What else can I do? I send emails and call. I mean, probably if you guys talk to them, I don't know, but what else can I do to just hit the other time there was one person who wanted to buy a house. He said when he made
So people cannot go out at the same time. Only one person at a time, please.
he said when he made his own findings, he discovered that Safari is bottom of. So I told him that we are sampling. Then I called him 3 days after he was on the call. So I ended it, and then after 3 hours I called him and he said I was disturbing him. And when he's ready to come back and he hasn't come back. So what can I do with clients?
Does anybody want to answer that question? Please, I need somebody to answer. What else can we do? Realistically speaking.
Checking up on him, but not bringing up anything serious to him.
Generally, that's the first point. He's saying that okay now, he's trying to close deals, but he doesn't know what to do again because he has tried all of his cards and not seem to be working. So what next can you do at this point?
Based on that particular client,
Is it a client or a prospect?
okay, prospect. After marketing Sapphire to him, did you market anything else to him?
Yes, I marketed all of it. He said it's Sapphire.
Okay, so such clients, you just or such prospects, you keep them in close proximity and you make him understand that he can get other people to come through him. So it's not that you're pressuring him to buy, but you're pressuring, you're talking to him now to become a partner with you.
But if he's not convinced, he won't be bothered. His issue is that the fact that it's important. So if he won't be able to, it's not that he can't afford it. So if he's not convinced personally, there's no way we make this friend.
And the other idea came to my heart on how to use those who have to make more sales. I believe that if we have people who truly buy from us, they can be able to convince, they can convince others
So they are
saying that they are neighbors. So I have it, but it's just to get the first people to buy, then capitalize on them together.
How many people do you talk to per day? At least on the average.
On the average,
New people.
I mean,
So that's the real issue. So someone will say, someone will say, I've met the pastor and say, sir, I've prayed, I've fasted, I've done everything. What else am I not doing? Why is this situation not changing? It's because there is one more thing left that is not done. In this case now, one thing that you are lacking is you don't have more prospects lists. The truth is this. There's an old formula I've been using, which still works till today. And what's the formula? That a day will not go until I've spoken to 30 people who are named. Out of 30 people, there is a law that says that minimum of 20% of 30 people will be interested in what you do. And what's 20%? That's 6. Out of 6, if they didn't follow me from the show of my own town, at least I should be able to close 20% out of 6. What's 20% of 6? 1.2. That means I can have 1 sale out of 30 people. If I make it an habit to do 30 prospects per day, in 1 week, Monday through Friday, how many people have I gotten? 150 people. It means that out of 150 people, 20% of 20% will come to us at least 5 months. The problem we have is that we get too complacent easily. We get tired. Sometimes we be tired, and that's why I'm saying you can't be everywhere at the same time. Raise genuine people who enter places on your behalf. Sincerely. That formula has never failed. The more people you know, the more sales you get. So you don't wait for one person who says, I'll get back to you. And you now be checking your phone. Show the payment. Show the payment. Would you call me? He said, we'll call 2 o'clock. This is 2:30 now. I've been waiting for him. He didn't call back. I tell you, why? Do you know the number of people that is talking to one person at the same time? The same prospect you are expecting this call. He has about 4 different estate companies have spoken to him. And some of them are not giving him better offers than you gave him. But the law of varieties, you have varieties. You have a number of prospects. At the same time, while you are talking to them, some of them are thinking, should I buy, should I not buy? Somebody is telling his friends, somebody is telling the father, somebody is telling the mother, somebody is telling his neighbor. Before you know it, they'll come back to you and say, hey, can you tell me more about what I said? Let me tell you, I saw the power that is inside WhatsApp status, updating WhatsApp status recently. Before now, I'm not a WhatsApp person. When my wife comes and say, I've seen this person, see the picture. I say, where do you get the picture from WhatsApp? I say, yeah. You like posting to people's affair, checking their status. They said, no, it's not a private affair now. If they don't want me to see the picture, they won't put it there. So, do you know the me that is talking now? When I see them now, at least 3 times in a week, I update my status. When I update, before 24 hours expire, somebody was banished. I update my status. I'm never tired of prospecting. I'm talking to people. A number of them. A number of them. A number of them. When I say a number, I mean a number. I keep talking till my change comes. I keep talking till my change comes. A number. So, sir, did you click where the missing link is, sir? Yes, sir. You don't have the right things. When you go to the canoe or you are on the canoe, you want to catch fish. You throw your nets. You catch different types, different sorts, including crab. When you throw your net of prospecting, you will see all manner of people. From them, at least you see eatable fish inside your net. Am I making something? When you throw the nets, when you throw it widely, you will see at least an eatable fish from that batch. Even if there are fishes you can't eat inside, it means that out of the number of people you are prospecting to, you will still get serious-minded prospects that you can convert to clients. All right. Who else have not given me his talent? Mr. Farrow? Yes, sir. 10 million. Let's go. 10 million. Your strategy.
I am a minister, so yes.
You did it.
How will you get it started? With the response. The response. So the people who yes, 60%.
Yes, 10 million. He said 10 million.
Oh, okay.
Only.
The strategy, email lists. That's one.
Yeah, that's one. Then, generally, it's I call them keep. I've not really been called on a lot when it comes to. And that's why I feel I've been slacking. Try to follow from WhatsApp as well. Kind of almost close the deal, and she was like, she traveled that she gets some time to go back. I feel like just location. They said when she's ready. Another person was talking about price, trying to get Jasper for 5 million. Like,
Hello, Jasper.
What is it?
Hello, Jasper.
Thank you, Jesus. You finish. Okay. Have you started raising agents, sir?
yes. Okay. I'm going to be 6 so far.
6. Registered.
Yes. So I had 8 on the former platform. But now, I think I have 3 on the new platform. So I sent something they said to register. It's in notification yet. But 3 have registered. But formally I had 8.
Awesome. Formally. So 2 people have resigned. Why they reduce? Okay. Do you create time to host your agents personally? You not try.
I was
That means that the passion is that is what. Don't let it die. You know one thing I will advise you to do. Even if you have online agents, seek to host them. This is video. You're not going to.
say I want to go out. Ladies first. Mama.
Alright. Someone attending to them.
I beg you.
So, it means that a number of us, we can actually do more than we're doing actually. If you have visible agents, try to hold them in a garden, maybe like after work. Sit down with them, hold business with them. Just buy a soap for them. And
Sir,
yes, sir.
that will work when we actually have time.
Yeah.
Because we are usually here 90% of the time. You see, like even after the retreat, when I got home, I couldn't lift. Till on Monday morning.
Some are still sick. Some are still sick. That's
So, you
serious.
see, that
the workload.
That time is actually necessary, so that even you yourself, you need to first unwind before you unwind with somebody.
Okay, you know what I always do. You know, I can't wait for no one.
Yes,
Yes. We have spent 2 hours. Now, I've seen that. Let me tell you one wicked itinerary that I practiced. When I was with my guy, I resumed before 8. We start devotion by 8. I'm in the office till 12 and 1 a.m. in the midnight.
Midnight.
Yes.
Okay.
Between 12 and 1.
You live close to the office?
No. That was why one of the days I was talking to you guys, I told you that I remember one day that my boss slept at the back of the car like a baby, lying down while I was driving. I'll go and drop it first before I now go to my own house. Now, I'm not saying you should do it. Now, what I'm saying is this. While I was doing all of that, I have my foot soldiers. Sincerely, if you wait till the day you have your time to do those things, sincerely, you never achieve it.
So we should gather agents instead.
Gather agents. Pour yourself into them. Let them be your foot soldiers while you manage so many people. The truth is this. If you forever be relevant in this organization, you need to be at the nose of those who are leading you. When I say at the nose, they need to be seeing you more often around. For instance, is it a golden that will say that she wants to run away from the office 3 o'clock or 4 to go and host agents? No, the yoga will allow her to go. Meanwhile, she can be in the office till whatever time, and people are eating the company's account. See, the work we are doing here is just as an ambassador. You are representing the interest of people. You are here, but you can have 100 people reporting to you. That's the truth. See, Miss Vivian,
Sir.
quickly go. You say we will. Don't turn it to Coco. Okay. So, do you know that to a very large extent, no matter how smart you are, you can't cover everybody. Sincerely. You can't cover everybody. You just need to pour yourself in people and leave them to do the thing. One day my boss said, why is it that it is the pastor that is always around me that made the most sales? It's a mystery. I return all the glory to God. And it is not a secret. It's just to reach people. Now, my weekends, most of the weekends, I'm on site. Mr. David, I'm seeing you. And Mr. Most of the weekends, I'm on site. But yet, you may not be able to be with me. I make sure that during site visits and inspections, all my agents are on ground to join us. All my agents are on ground to join us during site visits. Now, again, I make sure that most of those agents, they touch the office at least 3 times in a week. Most of them. If it is possible, please invite them. If you don't have time to go and unwind with them. Even the unwinding we are talking about, just like this is a place said, it is to have a heart-to-heart conversation. What are the issues you are facing on the field? Do you know that when we meet like that, that's when I get to know that I need to help them close some deals. Sincerely. So I schedule an appointment for each of them. Where I can be physically there, we try to do calls to those people. And they start the conversation. So my boss is here. Please, I'd like to talk to you. And Oga, if I don't put my voice or move back, is to go and collect the check by His grace. There's a feeling. Let me tell you a secret now. There's a feeling people have when somebody introduces you to them as Oga. Because the agent will take you as his Oga or Oga. Automatically, the moment you are responsible, or he or she is responsible to each other. Now, I'm giving you 2K, for instance, per week for you first to go out. And I have a meeting, you have a meeting with me for brainstorming in the course of the week. And part of your issue is you want to close a deal. And I've helped you to close it. So now, while I'm trying to close the deal for you, and you want me to talk to someone, how do you introduce me? Now, God wants to talk to you. That prospect you are talking about, there's a feeling they have. The moment they hear, God wants to talk to you, they think you are the overall God. It's a secret. In most cases, I told you at the time, I said sometimes when it looks like, what are these people doing? I'm not satisfied with it. And I have to go out to hit the streets to make sales. I don't use the card that has my designation on it. I use the card that is just free. Just see, I did. My office is not printed on it. Because if I give them the card and they see managing director, they will ask me now, what am I doing in the office? So when I need my results, I hit the streets. That's true. One day, when some of my partners were telling me that, I said, sir, you don't need to go out now. A general does not leave the war. I said, there's nothing to general if there's no money in the office. Or general, you see, as a director, there's nothing to direct if there's no money in the account. Just be directing yourself. That's the truth. If the chiefs are down, you are left alone. Before the chiefs go down, hit the streets. That's true. So, what am I saying in essence is this? You don't wait till things go bad. You need to raise people and create time to brainstorm with them. Madam Wata, I'm not supposed to forget your name. Miriam Wata.
Yes, sir. My target is 20 million.
20 million.
Yes.
Okay. And what strategy are you deploying?
Okay. Right now, I'm talking to people that I know before this job, and I register some of them as a consultant.
How many consultants do you have?
For now, 9. For now, 9.
9 registered.
Yes.
But they don't start performing yet.
No.
Okay.
So I created a WhatsApp broadcast for them. Then they will also be added to the WhatsApp group. Then I engage with them in conversation. I send them messages. I'm preparing their mind towards like they are having a discipline meeting that's going to complete 25th of this month. So I actually asked some of them if they want to come to the office before them, or they will use that opportunity to come and learn and also get to know the office.
I mean, let me quickly chip this in that at any point in time where you think that you are putting up a get together between you and your consultant, physical meeting, I mean, don't hesitate to invite your superior colleagues into such meetings. It will give them a boost. It will encourage them. You can have Madam Chairman, you can have Mr. Richard. If you put it on the day that I come here, I can join you for that meeting. Because what will give me joy is to see you perform. And by the grace of God, there's nothing you want to earn as commission that will enter my eyes. By the grace of God. So my joy is to see you perform. That's my joy. That God really used this man for us. And by the way, is Lupo. She's coming. Okay. So it's really important for us to take this conversation to the next level by taking it further. Let them have a face. Let them even know the office you're operating from.
Yeah.
Some of them have never been there.
Some even ask for a detail.
Thank you. They need to know. It will give them a boost. Okay, this person, I think they are serious here. I think they will run away with our money. I think I can stick my neck and talk to someone. Let them come, entertain them, take care of them. If you want to host them at last school fee, take them to last school fee. How many people know last school fee?
I'll take them to chicken for me.
Chicken down. It's too sophisticated. When you go to last school fee, so you know last school fee, you don't start selling Jesus. Miss Vivian, you know last school fee? Jesus. Do you know Wemco Road in Oba? You know Wemco Road? When you enter Wemco from Chicken Republic, no. Wemco Road is at the junction where we have. She lives there.
I don't live there. I live in Oba.
So if you enter from that Domino's, you know Domino's?
Yes,
if you enter from that Domino's, once you enter like this, you will see on the first turning on your left, there's a Living Faith Church on that junction. Kingdom Heritage School. There's a gate there. Enter. Once you enter, the last building facing the gates, the last building, that's last school fee. See there. That's a place to prospect. Guys, you are missing. They sell ofada. They sell pombo. They sell pepper soup, catfish pepper soup. Yes. Their father is inside leave. They do that on Friday. There. Yes. You see people there. People with what you are looking for. You can prospect them.
What's the address again? I will not tell you. I should keep quiet. It's bigger than
Let me tell you, it was my boss that took me there for the first time. It was my organ. Because he wanted me to meet people.
Jai boss.
No, he's a conservative person actually. But he wanted me to meet people. He doesn't drink. So it was not for anything. But see, if you say you want to meet 30 new people per day, where do you intend to meet them? You have to go out. Apart from people you meet online that don't have a face. People you meet physically, they don't trust you. Is it somebody that you now meet on the internet? Yes, it can happen. When you call yourself the internet's perspective, when you call yourself a superior person in an organization, it works most times. But in some cases, somebody will still tell you, I have to see who your guy is. But if you go physically, well packaged, you go to last coffee. Let me tell you something. A lot of people you see in those hangouts, they are people that physically you may not have access to their office. But if you kickstart a conversation from those hangouts, you can take it up. They invite you to their office. Offices that ordinarily, if you don't have an invite, you can't enter. But because you first met them somewhere, then they now tell you to come. Then you meet their colleagues. Meanwhile, when you are meeting them for the first time, you are meeting them at a relaxed mood. They slack their shirts or their belts. They slack their tie. They can talk to you. You can phone it. They are not in a hurry. Their guy is not calling them. Someone tell me, what's going on in Jasper? What's going on in Sapphire? Tell me more about it. How much do you want me to invest? You see them then. Me, that I'm coming from Owebi, I know last office. You, last office is here for you. You can even check there from this gate. From this second gate.
I don't know last week. We have helped you. We have helped you. You don't have to. But I don't know. You don't leave pictures.
I think we also need flyers to do that. We can't be showing them.
No, you can't show something. Okay. So you don't have flyer.
We don't have to have copy flyer.
We had hard copy flyer before. I think it was all here.
The first 2 weeks I came, I suggested that. I said there was no need.
No, now we need it. Mr. Richard, please come. We need hard copy flyer.
Richie.
Please, we need hard copy flyers. Go
Harold,
please write it down. We need hard copy flyer. I'm sending you to the MD. We need hard copy flyer. People need to physically also go out, apart from the online perspective they are doing. We need to change strategy. Mr. Richard, please write it down. We need hard copy flyer.
So the implementation of that flyer is working on it. Because the intro is working on it.
They are working.
Yes. The implementation of that flyer because
something out of it. It's better than not making money at all. Because, okay, how many people will I be showing my phone when I don't even have my time? When I've sat down, printed my flyer, and I have my name on it, that I can just drop even if you are in a hurry.
So it's complimentary card.
don't you have cards?
We don't have cards. We don't have.
Besides, you have.
Yeah, they give you what you They give everybody ID card. I know they give you ID card and business card.
We didn't give anybody.
It's only a guy they give you.
It's only you and Choma.
You're not doing it.
Customer service.
They only have
I don't
But when
know.
you are using that, those phones.
I mean, I have mine now.
Why is she updating?
I have mine.
Oh shit.
No,
For the rest, they didn't put their names on it.
yes, it's a general complimentary card for general visitors.
No, we should not be.
Please, Mr. Richard, please help me notice.
You can
Yes. So, Mr.